It is Friday and it's Freestyle Friday. You know how we get down. Drizzy Drake in the building. And guess what? Week 7, more coverage there. We might be talking about a little bit of basketball too. ACC Tipoff was this past week. And I'm going to give you some bonus coverage that I'll reveal at the end of the show. But man, we also have to get you set up for some betting action. Can Pitt take on Virginia and do well? Can Carolina beat Miami? Who knows? All these things we're going to discuss. But more importantly, I brought Drizzy Drake here because I have to kindly handle myself as FSU took Carolina down this past weekend. So I want to get his thoughts. I know they're going to be wild, so you guys just are going to have to tune in. Let's go.
You are Locked On ACC, your daily podcast on the Atlantic Coast Conference, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on? Drizzy Drake in the building, and we are back and ready for this Friday. I told him that Carolina was going to handle business last weekend, but apparently that was not the case. They made Jordan Travis look like a Heisman candidate, and I'm so sorry, Carolina fans, but I've been waiting all week to talk to this guy. I'm sure he's feeling good. How are you doing, Drizzy Drake?
I am on cloud 9 right now. I've heard every single day this week, folks, where she's like, oh no, I got to talk to Drake on Friday, like every single show, because I had her on for our little crossover World Cup, something to know your foe whenever we play a team on a Friday, and we got a little into it because me personally, there's only 3 guarantees in life: death, taxes, and Mac Brown being a winless head coach against Florida State football. So trust me, I am on cloud 9 right now.
0-11, he has not been able to beat his alma mater, and I don't know if it's something with him or it's the players not stepping up, because to me, it was players not stepping up and not being prepared for the game. I don't know how you lose at home when you're losing to a losing record Florida State. They've only won 1 game. Why setting yourself up for greatness? This is the opportunity for you to get in there and get the dub, and you still couldn't get it done. And Jordan Travis had the game of his life. Why? Why do you do this to us, UNC? I just can't understand.
Because he's the mayor of Chapel Hill. I don't know if you saw the Google search the other day. That man yells daddy, if we're being completely honest here at this point. But also
Ooh-wee.
with Mac Brown, though, like his coaching, I don't know whether it was him or the players. What was the clock management in the fourth quarter of that game? You guys like burned 7 minutes off the clock, and you're still down by, I think, 18 points, but like it was really piss poor management by whether it was Sam Howell, Phil Longo, or Mac Brown. And then Mac Brown didn't do himself any favors after the game, where it's like, well, the media says, we should have been super good, so we only won half the games and lost the other half of the game, so maybe it's more their fault. So I don't know what's up with y'all up in Chapel Hill right now.
There's a lot to unpack there. Well, let's start with game management. Fourth quarter, I really feel as if they gave up, right? They assumed they were not going to be able to get back in that bad boy and just kind of let it be. They don't have the same playmakers who can get back in the game quickly like they used to. And when Josh Downs, hello, all we have to do is cover him and you don't have anybody else you can throw to, and Ty Chandler's not having these explosive plays, makes it easier, right? So I think there's a little bit of quit, unfortunately, I would say. I never say that often about people because I think you go hard. That's the reason why you go out there and play. But I couldn't understand it. And honestly, for myself, I was just over it. I was like, please just stop the bleeding, right? Like throw in the towel, throw in the damn towel.
That's like that, was it Rocky 4? Was like, throw in the towel with Apollo. But I will say that I felt bad for Sam Howell because he didn't quit. And you can see by him extending the play, like leaving the pocket, because he didn't have that much protection. Like what I said, like when we spoke, was that our defensive line was going to show up, and Jermaine Johnson showed up, Fabian Lovett, Malcolm Ray, who is in his second year. Sorry, he's a redshirt sophomore now. In his second year, he performed very well for an injured Dennis Briggs, and he was the only one that actually showed up, because I saw you guys had a lot of drops. Josh Downs wasn't the same player because he actually got manhandled by Kevin Knowles.
Unload, Drake. Unload. Let it out. Tell us
no.
about
Oh, trust me, we beat the shit out of y'all. I'm sorry. Like, sorry, I got my button. We beat the out of y'all. It was a fun game for me to watch. I was at the bar and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna put some money in this game. I had us plus 17.5. I had us money line. I had us 3 separate different ways, and it just showed that to me, we're a really good team. So why the hell are we 2-4? So that's kind of it was a very bittersweet win personally for me, because like, yes, I love beating up y'all because I love being right. Trust me, I'm a lawyer. That's one of the big things of us for our profession. But it shows to me, like, how the hell are we 2-4 with losses to Jacksonville State, an overrated Notre Dame team, Louisville, who has been, we have no idea what the hell they are. The only loss to me that makes sense is the Wake Forest game. So I'm glad we have this bye week, but then I need to see them hit the ground running when we play UMass next week.
Yeah, same for me. I know who we are. We're the same complacent team who's consistently inconsistent, who doesn't give you what you need. And nobody factored in just how much of a factor losing all of that NFL talent was going to be. And you're thinking that Howell can do everything, but he's one man. He can only throw to the person who's going to actually catch it. And he can only toss or pass it off to the guy who's going to find the hole and run through, right? And defensively, you got to hit your assignments and you got to learn how to tackle. And if you can't help yourselves and can't compete in the ground game, there's no point of you even being out there. So it's just another day where I sit here and say Carolina's just going to be Carolina. And we're going to talk about the Carolina Miami game here in a bit. But man, oh man, that's going to be a fun one, right? It's
Oh,
going to
I got a
be.
lot. I got a lot to say actually about that game specifically, especially a few friends of mine being boosters over here down in Miami. I got some stuff to say about that.
Oh, I'm sure it'd be wild. But can we start with the Friday matchup? We are going to go through all of the games because there's not as many teams playing from the bye week. So I want to get your thoughts on Clemson Syracuse, more so from the Clemson side. We had Locked On Syracuse host Tyler Aki yesterday, and he was talking with us about Syracuse and being ready and all of that good stuff. And I was saying how DJ could have a breakout game. He could not, but do you think that this is going to be the time where Syracuse finally gets it done, or Clemson decides to step up in a big way?
I don't think they're gonna step in a big way. I know
Yeah.
we consistently say like we're waiting on Clemson and DJ Ongalele to sort of wake up and kind of like turn on. And it's gonna be really funny if I say this right now. He actually does turn on this weekend, tomorrow. Sorry, today, 'cause as you're listening.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna actually turn it on at all whatsoever. I think the team that we're seeing right now is who we thought they were. Like, well, sorry, who I thought they were. Like,
Mhm.
primarily one of the big things I was worried about was like, who was their running back with Travis Etienne gone? I mean, Will Shipley's now hurt. I mean, who were their wideouts outside of Justin Ross, who hasn't played particularly well? Aju has been a very, hit or miss, wide receiver. And I mean, we know their defense is really good. The problem is like 6 or 7 of them are out because they're hurt. And then
Yeah.
with Garrett Schrader, I mean, it seems like they finally found something with him because he ran for almost 200 yards against Wake Forest. Now, Wake Forest doesn't have a bad defense at all if you look at advanced metrics, but with this Syracuse game, I don't know if they're going to win, but it is kind of funny how 4 years ago they did beat Clemson as they were 4-2. It is at the Carrier Dome, and it's on a Friday night. And Friday night football, if you've noticed the past few weeks, has been extremely weird. So this might be, and you'll see. I'm going to spoil my pick a little bit. I actually do like Syracuse a lot in this spot to cover the game. It's going to be super close. It might be similar to the Boston College game we saw last week.
I think for Dino's sake, I really want him to get one. And if it's going to be one, it might as well be this big upset. So I'm just hoping that Sean Tucker can run all over this Clemson, beat up Clemson defense. They're still excelling, right? They're still one of the best defenses in the country and
Mhm.
holding, teams to a few points, like I think 3 or less scores. But I don't know. I'm throwing it up there that I really do think DJ's about to have a come out game, and I think this might be it because he had some rest. He's able to run his plays at times and hours that are appropriate instead of having to do it at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., figuring out what his missed throws are. He had daylight to do that, so maybe he'll figure out how to just excel. And Syracuse will keep going down, and then I think Dino will be out of there. But that's what I don't want. That is exactly what I don't want. But here we are.
Yeah, like here's the when I say that I personally think this is the Clemson team that we see because I'm of the belief that I've heard that Tony Elliott is no longer the primary play caller at Clemson. It's been
Mm,
Dabo Sweeney since the Ohio State game, and if you notice between that game and this game, the play calling is very mediocre, it's very stagnant. And also with DJ, his wide receivers, they drop the ball a lot. I was joking about UNC this past weekend, but Clemson has a really bad case of my feet or hand syndrome. Like literally, they can't catch a damn cold. And to me, it's going to be very interesting going watching this game. And I don't think DJ's a bad quarterback per se. I mean, you saw with QB1, he was with behind Real Mitchell. He's a good kid. He's actually has all the talent in the world, but he needs to develop a little bit because all right now he has the big arm and he may not be able to handle the adversity just yet because his confidence right now, in my opinion, by watching his body language, is shot. And it just sucks for
yeah.
the kid.
Yeah, Big Cinco is just big and that's all. But maybe he'll figure it out. We'll see. All right, guys, let me tell you about Built Bar. Did you know that Built Bar has so many delicious flavors? There is literally something for everyone. I lately have been loving on double chocolate and strawberry. Can't even begin to tell you, though, how much I enjoy mint brownie. If you like chocolate, let me tell you, all these bars are 100% covered in chocolate. And they're not even just They are delicious. The 17 to 18 grams of protein, only 4 to 5 grams of sugar, so you can get right snatched and still have a delicious treat. If you haven't tried all the flavors, get that mixed box where you get 2 of each of the 9. Order today and get your cherry barcia, raspberry, mint brownie, double chocolate, salted caramel, or whatever you would happen to like. Go to builtbar.com, use promo code LOCKED15, and you'll get 15% off your next order. Again, that's builtbar.com to get 15% off your next order using promo code LOCKED15. All right, so we're back in the building with Drizzy Drake, locked on Seminoles. Always have to remember this guy has given us his Freestyle Friday. He is faithful in it, and we want to get right into these Saturday matchups, okay? So let's start with the early games, right? We are going to go through and make sure you guys are well equipped and you know who to just get excited about. The 12:31. That will be Duke in Virginia, okay? So you've got Gunnar Holmberg coming into a game where he messed up, threw an interception at the last second in that Georgia Tech matchup, and now he is facing a great defense. He's facing an okay defense in Virginia. And then you've got Brennan Armstrong, who will be facing a good, mediocre defense in Duke. And it could be a shootout, but that would require my guy Holmberg to find Jake Bobo in the end zone a few more times than he did. He'd only has found him like once at all, one touchdown to start the season for Jake Bobo, and that was in like game 5. Maybe he'll figure it out for this game against Virginia. They're going to need this. They are still yet to have their first conference win, the Blue Devils, and Virginia's still trying to fight to be atop of the Coastal. Would love to get your thoughts on this game, and if you feel like it's a evenly matched game or somebody is going to have to step up in certain ways.
I think Duke blew their best chance of winning a conference game last week against Georgia Tech. That game was, and it's not because they're the better team.
Yeah.
It's mainly because Georgia Tech gave them so many chances to win the damn game. Jeff Sims played horribly, and you know I'm a huge fan of Jeff Sims. I don't know if that man had any accuracy at all whatsoever. And
Thank you. Oh my gosh. I literally sat there and I was like, I've heard Tyler and Drizzy Drake say that this guy is really an underdog and like he's underrated, all this kind of stuff. I'm not seeing it. Like with the legs, sure. But with that arm, I'm like, baby, who you throwing to? Who are you throwing to?
yeah, last year, I mean, I think his first 3 games, I think 6 of his 9 picks were just absolutely just thrown straight to the defender. Now, I mean, like his arm is a little bit better, but the problem is he's missing, but he's like hitting the ground. He's doing overthrows. And it's not the Jeff Sims that I saw or was like super excited about moving forward. I still think he can, develop better, but he played a bad game and Duke kind of didn't capitalize on any of those mistakes. And again, it goes back to cut. My guy, like you've won me over since over the summer, but like you need to give the ball or find some way more to just involve like Jake Bobo or Mateo Durant because Gunnar Holmberg should not be your alpha dog in that offense, and because your defense is your defense for once actually played a decent game. I mean, 31 points isn't great, but like for y'all standards, that's above and beyond. So to me, this game, and you're going into a Virginia team that while Brandon Armstrong, I don't know how his arm is still attached to his body with 60 throws, but Brandon Armstrong is going to shred you with his legs and his arm because he's not going to make those bad throws Jeff Sims had last weekend. Virginia and that offense they're basically a Big 12 team, little to no defense, but a high scoring, high powered offense. And we saw that a little bit against Miami, but yeah, Virginia to me is going to they might win this game comfortably.
Listen, Mateo Durant needs to be fed at all times. I used to say this so much about Javonte Williams at UNC, like feed Javonte, feed Mateo. And when it's not working, don't bail on it immediately in the next drive. Like go back to it still. Why are we still trying to make Gunnar Holmberg appear to be this Brennan Armstrong or this Kenny Pickett? That's not who he is. He is a game manager. And that's okay. You can Burmeister can give you some lessons, some words, some wisdom, right? Just know your role and play it well. Don't do too much. And so I think sometimes, again, I see some flashes, right? You see him pass to Jalen Calhoun and Jake Bobo. trying to say everybody's name at once. I think it works well when he wants it to, but don't overdo it. Don't oversell it. When you have fourth down and inches, like I understand you are trusting your defense because they're having a great game, but do you trust that offense do you trust that line to get over and ensure that you can continue your drives? I think that was the biggest issue to me is sometimes you have belief in your kicker in Charlie Ham, and then other times you were like, oh, my defense can do it, or my offense can do it and go for it. And then they wouldn't. And it was like, damn, the defense had 2 takeaways and you couldn't come away with no points. Like that's what good teams do, period. That's just how you get better. And that's what they're going to have defensive takeaways again. You're going to have to play perfect to beat a Virginia team with a quarterback like Brennan Armstrong.
Yeah, it's just it sucks too because like Mateo Durant, I mean, he did get the ball a lot last game. I think he carried it around almost 40 times, but you need honestly feed that man 6 times. I don't know why Gunnar Homework has 30 pass attempts. You have 90 snaps and he accounts for almost more than a third of your plays. It's astounding to me because it should be that he has these special players and he's not, I think, Taylor making a game plan to his best players in order to succeed and win the game. And then to your defense has 2 takeaways. Every game I've seen FSU lose over the past 4 years, they lose a turnover battle, and it's not only because that they have so many turnovers, but because they allow the team to capitalize those points and get like I think it was a Louisville game, we had 2 turnovers, and I can see them score on each drive, and we lose that game by 10 points. And without those turnovers, like that literally changes the game for you. So that's something that with Coach Cutcliffe, I don't see them winning a conference game for the rest of the year. I hope to be proven wrong. Sorry, JJ, but this is Cut's last stand, and it's not going to end pretty.
I hate to say it. All right, let's quickly talk about UNC since we already did, but UNC Miami, I would like to know your thoughts here. It's a pretty evenly matched game, apparently, with predictions of who's going to come out on top because you just don't know with either team. But this is Tyler Van Dyke's debut, as an away quarterback trying to really deliver for his squad. And you still have some strong defensive talent. And Sam Howell is used to being swallowed up in that backfield. So who's going to need to step up most this game to come out with the win? And we're talking about all position groups.
Your offensive line. Primarily because you need to give Sam Howell time because a lot of Miami's DBs are hurt. Their defensive line is not the same thing. I don't know why they got so much fanfare when they lost Jalen Phillips, Gregory Rousseau, and Quincy Roche. Those 3 all got drafted. 2 of them in the first round. So I don't know why they got so much fanfare. Then Bubba Bolden, he's not playing the same or playing, as well as everyone thought that he would. So to me, it's the offensive line to protect him because all they have really is Chance Williams, who's a second-year player. He's going to be good. He's going to be good soon, but he's not there yet. And then Nesta Silvera, who I thought could have been a breakout player, and he hasn't performed up to his billing. And then also, like, the offensive line, you win the trenches, you're going to win the game. And we saw that last year. I mean, I know you guys had Javonte Williams and Michael Carter, but you still can gash this team for run defense. I mean, just watch the Michigan State game against Miami a few weeks ago with how Kenneth Walker absolutely dominated.
Walker. Ty Chandler is not Kenneth Walker. Let's not do that.
I know, but
don't even put pressure on that man.
No. I'm saying you have 2 players. Like, watch that game and watch how he was able to just dissect the entire defensive game plan for Man Diaz, who ain't going to be there much longer, folks. I'm telling you that right now. And he's going to be hanging out with me at Sedano soon. So.
You know what? I'm going to leave that right where it's at. Okay, last 3:30 game, Pittsburgh and Virginia Tech. Do you think the Hokies are going to be able to bounce back after that loss against Notre Dame? And can they match their defense match up against a guy like Kenny Pickett who's playing some of his best ball?
This is a weird game to me. I think they blew a really, really good chance to beat Notre Dame last week. That was a game that I was not going to touch. It was probably one of the better games of the weekend, but Justin Fuente found a way to coach himself out of that game. And I don't believe in Braxton Burmeister. I've said it before, I said it again. Justin Fuente, I think him losing that Notre Dame game kind of solidified that he may not be with the program very much longer because that game he should have won, and boosters are not very happy about that. And Kenny Pickett, I know that Tyler Aki took a Heisman odds on him, and I mean, I'm not going to take that because personally that's me burning money because he's on a team that lost to Western Michigan. I'm not taking that, but
that wasn't his fault.
No, and exactly, it wasn't his fault. But hey, listen, that's how Heisman voters are doing with that. But
You're right.
Kenny Pickett is a top 5 QB in the country. He's the best quarterback probably in the ACC. It's between him and Sam Hartman. He's got a considerable lead over Sam Hartman.
I think it's between him, Sam Hartman, and Brennan Armstrong.
Yeah, I can give you Brennan Armstrong, but the problem,
I love your wait a minute.
Maybe we can discuss that later. But with Kenny Pickett, I think he can definitely find a way to capitalize on a very just Virginia Tech team, in my personal opinion.
Okay. Listen, I think that Pittsburgh is going to have to beat the more dominant coastal teams that we've seen in the past, right? We're so used to seeing the Virginia Techs, the Carolinas being in the conversation, the Miamis of the world being in the coastal conversation. And Pitt has been, right? They have been coastal champions. It hasn't been that long ago, but it seems like there's always an up and down factor to them. I mean, they've lost to teams like Duke in the past couple of years. So I think they have to just keep dominating consistently over and over again to really be considered a coastal threat. And I think they can do that here. They've been on a roll and they look really good. I think that Western Michigan game was just one where you had to decide what kind of team you're going to be. And they quickly decided that they didn't want to be sitting down dogs for the rest of the season. And so as a 4-1 team leading the coastal at the moment, it's going to be interesting to see how they pull this win off and if they can keep rolling. And maybe I personally think is going to be Pitt and NC State. But I would love to get your thoughts here on NC State and Boston College. After I remind you guys about one of my favorite things, and that is to bet and always talk about betting with Drizzy Drake. And he is going to give you betting action as we get into these final thoughts here on the show. But if you are already ready to go and you made sure you are set for Friday and Saturday, you're going to BetOnline. We know that's where the game starts. The fastest and easiest way to bet on all sports action, from football, basketball, boxing, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. Head to the website or use your mobile device today to sign up. Receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Don't forget to use promo code Locked On to receive your bonus. All right, as we wrap up the show, can't forget to talk about the 7:30 night game on ACC Network, NC State, Boston College. Drizzy Drake from Locked On Seminoles. He's going to share. Okay. So you have Dennis Grosel, but you have who you have. Now we want the Boston College defense to show and prove here at home. Can they beat a Wolfpack coming off a bye who seems pretty sound? I mean, 4-1, the Mississippi State loss was one of those head scratchers you didn't quite understand, but they have got it together. They've got that Clemson monkey off of their back, and now they're ready to just keep rolling. Will they do that in Chestnut Hill?
Kenton, I'm so sorry about this. What I'm about to say.
No.
Here's the thing with that Mississippi State game. Do you remember where that game was played?
Yeah. In what's it called? Starkville.
Do you know yeah, it was Starksville. Do you know that was the last away game they played up until now? So one of the big things, like, Boston College is not an easy place to play at. Chestnut Hill, it's cold. I mean, y'all might be used to that, but Boston College is a different kind of cold.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that environment too, like, it's not as, damaging or, like, as intense as Alumni Stadium over at NC State. But to me, it's gonna be very interesting to see how they respond to being away from that. I mean, I know Louisiana Tech was a very good team. They actually have a top 20 offense. Trust me, I picked them a lot for a lot of my games. I love Louisiana Tech and Austin Kendall. But this game to me just screams +3. What do they know about it? Because on paper, NC State should mop the floor with Boston College because they have a better defense, they have the better quarterback, and they have really, like, underrated wide receivers and weapons. So why is it only +3? And then with Boston College, I know Dennis Grosel has done a really, really good job of actually managing the game. As you said, how Brandon Armstrong should follow kind of that game plan. He's doing his best not to lose the games, even though he did fumble the snap against Clemson inside the red zone, which broke my damn heart. It broke my heart. But
yeah,
Boston College, this to me is a prime moment for Jeff Hafley to be like, okay, he had the Missouri game where he beat an SEC team, but now we know Missouri is not very good. He has this moment to, like, succeed and be like, hey, if we beat this NC State team at home and take care of our own business, we can vault into an actual conversation of how we are the best team in the Atlantic. And I have a really, really bad feeling, or, like, interesting feeling that might happen this weekend.
All right. So from a betting standpoint, NC State, Boston College, as you had already mentioned, is +3. So who are you going with?
I'm taking Boston College +3.
All right.
And I'm taking them +125 for the money line to win the game too.
Oh, damn. Okay. I feel that.
I think that's, Tyler said it before, I think this is the best game of the weekend in the conference. It's going to be fun. And I think it's going to show really how Jeff Hafley can solidify himself as the best coach in the conference. And he's definitely going to be getting a few job offers, not this year, but the coming year after.
Man, I hope he stays. I feel like just let's build up the conference a little bit more, guys. Why does everybody have to run to the next best thing? Can we be the next best thing? Or
Oh, no,
that's
because
a
we're
whole
we're gonna
other.
hire him, that's why.
Oh.
Now, Michael, we're good with you, Michael. We're good with you, Michael, for right
Yeah,
now.
okay. We're good for right now. Anyway, let's go back to the top. Clemson and Syracuse playing Friday at 7 p.m. on ESPN. They're playing tonight, rather, since we at this one where we're having the show. Who you got?
So I got Syracuse plus 13.5. I took them at plus 14 at open. I think they're going to
Okay.
cover because mainly the trend is right now that ACC underdogs are 14-4 against the spread. So that means that the team that's not favored, it means that they cover. So give me
Okay.
Syracuse plus 14 because I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not giving double-digit points at Clemson against anybody right now. If we're being completely honest, they haven't covered I think one game this year.
DJ is listening to this right now. He heard you, big dog. He's
Hey,
about to
listen,
run it up.
DJ, I'm a huge fan of you, bro. Your dad's hilarious on Twitter, by the way. I would love to ask him about his bodyguard, jobs and everything, but you need to show up, my guy, because you show up, you win the game, but gotta prove it, man. The Carrier Dome, it ain't easy. It ain't easy there. Trust me.
It show ain't. All right, 12:30 on Saturday. Duke in Virginia. Who we got?
Let me get my sheet. I got Virginia minus 10.5. I think
Okay.
that Brent Armstrong actually does show up and show out. I think we've seen kind of a pattern where Coach Cutcliffe is not sort of tailor making his offense around Mateo Durant or Jake Bobo, and also Gunnar Humble is kind of more the star. Like I know you're a QB guru, but just run the damn ball, man. Just run the
Yeah.
damn ball. Maybe do some screen passes. Like don't try to put everything on Gunnar Holmberg. So give me Virginia at minus 10.5 and give me the under 69.5 too as well because I don't think Duke's going to score that. Duke's going to score enough points to hit that total.
They struggled to score against a Carolina defense. They only put up 7, and to me, Carolina's defense, they're starting to get even to me with Virginia's defense, only because that's how annoyed I am with my own school. So I think that it'll be a struggle, but I'm hoping they can have a rhythm, right? Because you've seen Duke is capable of scoring. They're capable of moving the ball nicely, but can they do that consistently? And can they not have these random 3-and-outs that just really don't set them up for success? So I'm with you, but Miami and North Carolina, what you got?
I took UNC earlier in the week at -6. Right now, it's Miami
Okay.
plus 7.5. So my pick for the show actually is Miami plus 7.5 because I think that they're gonna lose this game by a touchdown. If we're being completely honest, with
I don't think
UNC,
it's gonna
I
be that close.
you
But I
think
don't know
UNC?
it's because of UNC.
Oh no, see, it's not even that. It's more because I have no like with UNC. I know what y'all are. Y'all just inconsistent. Y'all just don't like.
Yeah.
You'll show up one day, super great. You show up one day. You're very Jekyll and Hyde. You had
Mhm.
your Hyde game last week against us.
Yeah.
This week should be your no, sorry, you had your Jekyll week against us last week. Now you have your
Mhm.
Hyde game this week against us. And with Miami, there's locker room issues. There's players that are probably going to be leaving out of the portal out of the next few weeks. The bye week, they lost that. They lost that bye week primarily because you already hear. Mandy is like, I'm not even kidding. I think he's probably going to be fired by the end of the year. You might
Mhm.
honestly see if they lose against us, he will be fired after that game, and Brett Lashley will be the interim head coach. So to me, that's kind of a game with Tyler Van Dyke. He's not even he's listed as number two. Their real number two is Jake Garcia, the QB3, the freshman that came out of Atlanta, and he's
Sure.
hurt. So he's more starting at necessity. So give me I know Miami plus 7.5. It's gonna be a closer game because it's gonna be kind of ugly. It's not gonna be that fun for you. I know you're gonna be there, but hopefully you can chug enough beers for that. I saw the video of you on Twitter the other day. Shouts out.
Okay. You know what?
So
I just need to be
have a good time.
I'm gonna start putting on my bio professional beer chugger because that's the only way I get love around here is when I chug beers. You know
That
what? I
was
try
so
to work that out in
fast.
therapy where that's not my resource, but hey, listen, got to give people what they want at this point.
I mean, it was so fast. Like, folks, to check out our Twitter. She literally cussed it, and I think it's 5 seconds flat. And I'm sitting there, I was like, I don't drink that much beer. I'm more of a vodka guy. But I'm like, damn,
You know?
Jesus. Like,
I used to be an athlete and don't put beer and competition me in the same place because I'm so focused on winning. I just do what I got to do. Your girl does what she has to do. All right, Pittsburgh and Virginia Tech.
I think Pitt's gonna win this game. They're not gonna
Mm,
cover though. I think Virginia
okay.
Tech actually will keep it because we've seen a lot of Kenny Pickett's numbers come from that he does his job. It's everybody else that's not doing their job at the team for some reason or another.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna ride that trend too. I think this might be a game where Justin Fuente's like, okay, we lost against Notre Dame. We'll do our best here, and we'll try to keep the ball, out of situations where Braxton Burmeister is asked to throw like deep down the field just to game manage. And to me, that's gonna keep it close enough. It's gonna be kind of I wouldn't be surprised honestly if Virginia Tech is leading by 3 coming into the fourth quarter. So give me Virginia Tech plus 5, but I'm gonna take Pitt to win the game.
Yeah, listen, playing in Lane Stadium definitely helps Virginia Tech, and I know that they want to defend home a lot better than they did against Notre Dame. So it'll be a big test for Kenny Pickett and company, and especially for Pittsburgh's defense, right? They've been given kind of the cold shoulder as a collective, but I think they're going to have a big time game if Burmeister can move his legs well. If he tries to throw deep balls, man, oh man, okay, we're going to get one of those. We're going to have big Trayvon Diggs energy. Like one of those is going to find their way because I don't think he has a great arm in that regard. But if he can manage the game correctly, they'll be in good shape, in my opinion. All right, so those are all the teams. You've heard your betting action. You heard what to do. So make sure you guys again go to betonline.ag to get yourself settled. But as we wrap up the show, we want to remind you that there was ACC Tipoff this past week. We've got FSU, who's clearly a basketball school now. And we had Leonard Hamilton there. We had a little bit of Hubert Davis. We had Coach K. Don't ask him how he feels about this being his final season. He will not give you a polite answer. I learned that. I didn't learn that personally the hard way, but having to hear him, man, oh man, that's just one. We can just scratch that off, your question list. But during the week, I will be ensuring that I give you guys content from that standpoint. So every single day, I'll be dropping a vid, a quick little short to kind of give you a rundown from each team, how it went, and all the head coach talk, a couple of the key players, and we'll make sure we get it there. But, just wrapping up the show because we have Drizzy Drake here. Who do you think is going to be the leader in the ACC from a basketball standpoint?
I think it's us. If we're gonna keep it a
Really?
buck, I think for
Okay.
once, I think it's gonna be us actually because we got a really good transfer in Caleb Mills from Houston, which
Mhm.
we didn't have. Like I love Scotty Barnes to death, but he's not a true point guard. I think that we put him there because of his size. He came in that we like he came in as Ben Simmons, without all the, he's got a lot more passion and intensity and actually wants to score points, unlike Ben Simmons. Shout out Ben, who actually finally showed up to practice. But we have Caleb Mills. I'm actually stoked for Anthony Polite, who actually I'm a huge fan of his. He's got a really nice corner three, deep three, wing three. Malik Osborne too was there as well, and I think that we have some good young talent like Jalen Warley and Matthew Cleveland and Coach Ham. I think every single year he'll find one player randomly where he brings him in. Takes him from someone that people don't talk about to a lottery pick out of nowhere. Like look at Devin Vassell 2 years ago. So I think it's going to primarily be us, because I'm not 100% sure how we see UNC in their first year without Coach Roy Williams. I was not impressed at all whatsoever by the Duke team that Coach K had last year, and I mean I've said my opinions on Coach K on this program and the other program. So I think it's going to be us if we're going to keep it honest with you.
That's very interesting. I think that Duke is going to have an emotionally charged year, if anything. I think they're going to battle with FSU to be on top, only because that whole play for Coach K, win on his last year, blah, 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 the whole storyline. And when you look at the rest of the field, I think, NC State's gotten better, but they're always kind of that third group trying to be that stepbrother figuring it out. UNC, you don't know what you're going to get with Hubert Davis and company. It could be more of the same. It could be, different energy. The more he tries to make everything the same, the more I think it's going to go backwards because there was need for change, right? There was need for different energy and vibes. It was broke, so you need to fix it. So I think that's just, an interesting take. But also Wake Forest was definitely in some games last season and they came
Mhm.
up short. But I think with Coach Forbes and a new energy, that can make things change and they could certainly disrupt some things. But I enjoy that. But we can't forget Notre Dame. We finally have to start talking about that. Finally have to start talking about them here on this show. So there'll be that. So that'll be some content that you guys can look forward to throughout the rest of the season. We're going to have some football talk mixed in with basketball talk. And of course, we can't leave you hanging with that Freestyle Friday betting. So all of that good stuff, that'll keep you coming back for more. It's Friday. We hope you guys have a great weekend. Drizzy Drake, one more time, remind these folks of where they can find you, follow your work.
You can follow me at Tally__Drake as you see below you. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can also follow the podcast at LO_Seminoles. You can follow our community at Knowles Anonymous. We have a Discord. We, take all your questions, all your answers. I'll talk about them on the show. You can follow my co-host at Max Moody17. And folks, we are fans first, people second, content creators third, and everyone good luck this weekend for betting. It's the middle of the year. This is probably the hardest week actually to make money. So be very, very precise with your bets, folks.
Ooh, very good tip. We love to hear that. Hope you guys have a great weekend. We will see you on Monday for that week 7 recap. Until next time.